Welcome to Western Ukraine. Welcome back to the Walkie Talkie Traveller channel, and I managed to say that without croaking or coughing. Does that mean that the Icelandic moss syrup is actually working? Let's hope so. And it was kind of prophetic on my part, I think. Just in the last video, I believe, I mentioned how unpredictable the weather here in Western Ukraine can be, whether it's a false early spring or a false early summer. You just never know. Yeah, what I woke up to was rain, rain, rain and more rain. Rain all morning. I wasn't planning anything too extravagant for today's walkie-talkie. Because it's been on and off throughout the day, we're now into mid-afternoon. I needed to come out anyway, but at any moment it could suddenly come down heavy. And it's been that kind of rain, you know, the kind of rain where a cloud resembling a bucket of water just suddenly unleashes upon you a deluge. Relatively short, but up to half an hour downpours of rain, followed by a period of calm, and the clouds appear to be parting. Looks as though the day might be brightening up, and then suddenly, no, we're back to rain again. Therefore, even my very limited expectations for today's walkie-talkie, which was going to take me in a slightly different direction, but never mind, still got a few more days here, it's actually led me to remember my own advice. Remember this place? So close to the hostel. And if you just need a couple of bits, I was promoting it as the ideal, very small, but very suitable little Rukavitchka Express. I'm going in there now to see if they can just give me the basics that I need to tide me over for the next 24 hours. And I'll see what it's like when I pop out of the shop, because it could be pouring with rain. Maybe the sun will break through. Let's see. I have to say, I need to remember the name of how to refer to this place. Rukavitchka Express has not let me down. So far, the weather hasn't either, just yet. Dogs and burgers. €1 devil apple. The €1 bar. I wonder what would happen if I went over to the bar and placed €1 on the counter. Probably get my collar felt and thrown out of the establishment, I expect, for being downright cheeky. Oh, speaking of which, who's this up here at the window being cheeky? What a very nice unexpected surprise. There's a little excursion tour cart stopping to give all the information which I'm missing out on. Not because I'm a cheap guy who's got a downer on tour guides. Can you ever forgive me for what I said in the last video, I wonder? Possibly not. But on this occasion, it's one of those funny things, whinging, moaning about stuff, and then comes back to bite you on the arse. Actually, I would be curious. I would like a tour guide to be able to tell me who this man is reaching out of the window and who's actually living in there, I wonder. So every morning they get to see the back of that statue of the torso of a man. I would like to be in that apartment to look out to see if maybe the rest of the apartment's dedicated as a museum to the character, whoever he might be. Ruddy Kit. What does that mean? Red cat, maybe? Obvious thing to guess, isn't it? Is this the cat cafe where you can go in and pet cats if they approach you and making themselves available to be petted? I wonder if it is. Let's have a look in the window, because normally they're to be seen. Okay, hang on a minute. It's exceptionally dark in there. And there are more cat figures. There's a lady working, so I'll try not to get her on camera. There's some cat characters here. Maybe it is the cat cafe, but the cats are not disposed to make themselves available. Young man over there playing the traditional, forgotten what the name of it is, traditional stringed guitar-ish like, harp-ish like instrument. Usually in old paintings in the 19th century you'll see Cossack characters playing those instruments. Somebody's keeping an eye on you, making sure you don't drink one too many up there. Although this is predominantly milk products for sale. Isn't that lovely? We've got a winged cow up there, if you can see. I'm not any taller, I'm afraid. Despite the rain, I haven't grown. A beautiful but slightly solemn face. Hers. Hers, not mine. Of course mine isn't solemn. City to look up to, a city to look up in. And some ancient old bits and pieces of cellar doors and windows, if that could be described as a window. Looks a bit murky down there, doesn't it? And here we will come out onto the corner of the main square, I believe. That's looking familiar from the other day. That covered over encased museum frontage. Now you've got your bearings? Excellent. If you're a professional chemist yourself, or if you have an interest in pharmacy and the history thereof, this might be for you. Pharmacy store, middle-age laboratory, alchemy laboratory, that'll get you in, won't it? History of pharmacy, library, arched balcony and cellars. Well, alchemy laboratory, cellars, middle-age laboratory, come on. You want to, don't you? And only here they sell iron wine. Why not give it a go, just for a sip of the iron wine if you're feeling like it? I wouldn't blame you if you did. Oh, and what have we got up here? Poczta Musée. Seems to, in a way, point across the road, but that probably isn't what it means at all. So the Post Office Museum, 1629, can you believe it? Nice little feature there. I like it. Rest of the door, a little muted. But we don't want everything garish and overly ornate and in our face, do we? And over here, Casanova. Ooh la la. Or it used to be Casanova. Orenda, I think, means for sale or for rent, one of the two. Got a feeling this used to be a rather risque place, shall we say. Out of business. But they've left the exterior decoration, which is nice for us to capture, isn't it? A kneipe is a sort of drinking meeting place, a nice place to go to, like a local bar, I suppose. In Polish, that's what a knajpa is. Maybe that's similar in Ukrainian, but the kurnacha, when it begins with kur, I always think of kuritsa, chicken. Maybe it is a place that specializes in eating chicken. It's a local place where you can go and eat yourself some chicken if you wish. There, I made it up. Tell me I'm wrong. There's some birds up there, but they seem to be real, not the fake variety which I've been seeing recently. Look at this. Ecky thump. Those are the only two words really to sum this up, aren't they? I'll allow myself to be distracted a little here on Boulevard Fedorova. Some nice little adornments underneath the windows and up alongside the windows, actually. Just trying to be patient. I'll be honest, I'm not very good at being patient. They've decided rain's coming, so they're going to head off in the direction they came from. Who are you, sir? My word, you got quite a large foot there. Nikifor Epifrani Drovniak. He's a Drovniak. No idea. Oh no. It's getting wet. Jewish culture with its deep roots and centuries-old history occupies its place among the multinational cultural heritage of Lviv. The turbulent events of the previous centuries and decades on the territory of Galicia in particular, caused the loss of a considerable number of its monuments. Thanks to caring people, collectors, scientists, researchers, the museum collections were completed with Jewish antiquities, one of the richest collections of Judaica, in Ukraine, about 1,000 items, which has significant scientific, historical and artistic value, is kept in the Lviv Museum of the History of Religion. Just realised that I was speaking rather fast then, I think because I'm wary of the rain suddenly coming down on me. Information here about those labelled righteous among the nations, Ukrainians who actually helped, well, non-Jews I should say, who actually helped Jews. Too much emphasis is put on those who didn't help and far from it, rendered them harm. But as in every country, there's good and there's evil. The museum, history, religion. So this is the place. So if you're interested, there's a security man there, so that kind of puts you off going inside, doesn't it, frankly? I think if it's that dangerous to enter, I'll give it a swerve. Mind you, I haven't been in any Lviv museums on this occasion, so maybe they all have a guard like that armed to the teeth. Because in wartime, maybe that's just the way things go. And oh my goodness. Yeah. They're wild. What have they just heard? There's something they know that I don't. Maybe I should be running in the opposite direction as well. Crikey. Thank goodness they didn't bite. In previous visits there have been traders of old books, and sure enough it seems that business continues even today on a rainy day. Only now are they just putting their books away. And doesn't he look like a magnificent figure? I think this is the Guy Fedorov. I think the man is given a statue here because he's noted as both a printer, but he had a sideline, a side hustle. I think he also was involved in the making of cannon, or the invention of how to somehow forge cannons. Just digging back into the recesses of my mind from 100 years ago, previously visiting Lviv. You might want to double check that. His name may not be Fedorov at all. Feel free to update me in the comments regarding the state of my sanity or the accuracy of that cannon reference, won't you? I'm as perplexed as that pigeon looks up there. Gosh, he looks like he stuck his head in a bottle of glue last night and he's still recovering. And he inhaled, I think. That was his mistake. Well, probably sticking your head in a bottle of glue in the first place isn't the smartest thing to do. But if you're a pigeon, don't expect a lot of intelligence out of a pigeon, do you? Oh, sorry, I was distracted. Yes, just Lviv it. You see what they've done there? It's genius. Well, maybe not genius, but I like those little play on words. History of Lviv tram. On April 27th, 1894, the first cars of electric tram arrived from Vienna to Lviv. They were more elegant and bigger than the ones drawn by horses. Ooh. Nice to see an old tram. Doors open, it's almost beckoning me forth, isn't it? Come hither. Something about 1990. Don't know. Shall I just wander in? Mind you, if I'm met by a heavily armed museum guard, I shall be retreating immediately. There's a handsome door. Obviously extremely modern. The symbol of Lviv, the lion. Not what I expected. Just a walkthrough, but a very pleasant walkthrough, I would say. Some fine detail up there above the window arches, but they haven't been cleaned up like the rest of the stonework at some point, so they're still quite darkened from pollution. Very new cross. This is what I need. This might give me a clue. A late 16th century chapel, maybe. It's recognised as being of historical architectural importance. Little church. It's all dark in there, so I might as well turn the camera off. Very dark interior, but loads of bling. I'm surprised they're not showing off more of the garish gold. I think it's 400 years of printing books in Ukrainian language, or printing books in Ukraine. Mr. Fedorov again. That would be my guess. Yuri Franz, or Georg Franz, depending on who was talking to him, I guess. Kolchitsky, or Kulchitsky, the great Ukrainian Galician, the hero of Vienna defense of 1683, who taught Europe to drink coffee. That isn't what I was expecting. The hero of Vienna defense of 1683, who heroically, oh no, he taught Europe to drink coffee. Is this an elaborate advertisement? Yeah, it does seem to be all about coffee rather than heroically fighting off marauding Ottoman Empire soldiers. Right, yeah, nice, but not what I expected. Grateful Ukrainian citizens are thankful for this man, and so they should be. The coffee man is right by this useful little information board. You may notice it says Wysoki Zamok, which is very close to the Polish. Yeah, High Castle. The Polish language version of that, I mean. Yes. High Castle. Not a lot to see, to be honest, and it's a bit of a hike to go up there. With my lungs, this weather, definitely not for today. Something for tomorrow, for a view over the city. Not even tomorrow, to be honest. Here we are in Coffee Square. And guess what they sell there? That's right. Italian coffee. On the go, if you're interested. What might this be? It's looking like a theatre, isn't it? Don't you think? Lvivski Theatre Lialok. And what do you think of that? I rather like it. Very simple, very basic, but I like it. What do they call those types of balconies? I know in Italy we'd be calling them Romeo and Juliet balconies, wouldn't we? Just look at this little bit of sweet detail which has partly been broken, sadly. Above a door. And it's right opposite this huge church we saw the other day. There's rather an impressive museum inside. It does feature exhibits marked with both Ukrainian language and English language descriptions, so that's always handy for those of us who can read English. Ticket price is about something like about $6, I think, about 240 hryvnia, something like that, for an adult to enter. And if you're interested in ancient Lviv, then this is the place for boning up on the history of the ancient city. It's highly recommended from reviews I've seen, so don't be put off thinking, oh, it's just a big church with a dark interior. There's far more held within. I'm feeling as though I'm getting a little bit of congestion in my lungs again, so that's a sign to me. Okay, you've had a short walk, your lungs are getting a bit of crap in them. Maybe call it a day. You've been lucky, didn't get wet. Seen a few more things which have been of interest to me, maybe of interest to you, who knows, hopefully. And the fact I can only show you some things, and certainly nowhere near as much as I would like, on a full length, full day walkie-talkie around Lviv, well, that just means I'm perhaps tempting you to come yourself at some point in the future, or I'm reminding you, if you've already been here in the past, of things you've seen, visited, done, but you lost all the photos, you lost all your video footage, or you didn't make any. And I'm just reminding you of a few things from your own trip, backpacking around Europe, or not. Thank you very much for watching. Glad that you were able to join me. It always feels as though, well, to be frank, you know, when I started doing this not that long ago, I did feel a bit of a plonker, a bit silly walking around, talking to myself with my arm raised and this poxy camera in my hand. it's nice to think that, oh, there's somebody listening out there. And while I am in splendid isolation, I can pretend, at least to myself, that you're coming along with me for the ride, and you're here in spirit, if not actually present in body. Now there's a man who looks as though he's had a few. Can we zoom in? Probably not. Half man, half beast. We can call him a beer monster, I think. So thanks again. Thanks for liking if you've liked the video, or you're going to like the video. Thanks for subscribing if you've already subscribed, and if you're thinking of subscribing to help me out, do me a favour. Oh, an old soldier. No, I'm not really an old soldier. But yeah, wouldn't do any harm to subscribe. You wouldn't want to miss the next exciting instalment, would you? And my potential review, my contentious review on Icelandic moss syrup, that's coming up. Yeah, you don't want to miss that. You better subscribe. You know it makes sense. Until the next time, it's walkie-talkie traveller saying adios from Lviv.